Okay. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. Rare video on a Saturday night, but we are here to do our yearly free agency review for the Miami Dolphins. And I waited until the end of the week because, I didn't want to do the Malik Willis thing on Monday and then have more things happen, and then I just got to keep making more videos. So I decided to make just one video and talk about everything. Um, I don't know how long this is going to be, but I do have a lot to say. Um, Obviously, Miami made their big splash on Monday, like immediately when free agency began. Free agency started Monday at 12 o'clock, and I want to say around 12:40, the alert came out that hey, the Miami Dolphins have signed Malik Willis to a 3-year deal, and he is now, for now, the next franchise quarterback. It's not guaranteed he's going to be the franchise quarterback moving forward, though. So we'll talk about that when we talk about the signings. But then pretty much after that, the Miami Dolphins made a bunch of 1-year deals to players, the 1-year prove-it deals. And with the amount of cap space that John Eric Sullivan had going into the offseason, I'm pretty satisfied with what he did in free agency. He's trying his best to build a competitive team for the 2026 season. And I very much appreciate that because I thought going into this season that this was going to be like a tank year. The Miami Dolphins are going to be picking top 5. They very much could still be picking top 5 going into 2027. But, there's a lot of holes that this team has going into the free agency. And, that's thanks to the old regime and Chris Greer and how he fucked over this new regime with the cap space. But I feel like John Eric Sullivan tried to make the best of it. And we will talk about it all here today. I appreciate you guys joining me. This is a part of Miami Dolphins off-season video. Off-season videos that I make. I haven't made one since the Jeff Hafley hiring or the Jeff Hafley press conference. I did go over that. He got his staff together, and you had the rumors about Malik Willis and the conversations with Tua Tagovailoa, and Tua's now playing with the Atlanta Falcons. We're still paying his contract, but I'm just glad that we don't have him in the building anymore. I'm just glad that we don't have to talk about him anymore. He's with Atlanta. I'm not focused on the old regime. I'm focused on this team right now in 2026 with John Eric Sullivan as GM, Jeff Hafley as head coach, and Malik Willis now as the starting quarterback. So we might as well just dive right into this puppy. As you can tell, I'm pretty, I wouldn't say fired up, but I'm pretty positive about how this free agency went for the Miami Dolphins. So, I do want to go over all their signings. Okay, I do want to go over all their signings. So, where are we here? Okay, here we go. So this was the 2026 free agent class for the Miami Dolphins. And players they did re-sign. They ended up re-signing Greg Dulcich to a 1-year deal, which I love. He was great in the back half of the season, towards the end of the year, especially in that Tampa Bay game when he scored a touchdown with a pass from Quinn Ewers. Greg Dulcich he needed to be back here this season. I'm very glad they got him. The Dolphins also re-signed linebacker Willie Gay Jr., Ethan Bonner, Matthew Butler, A.J. Green, cornerback, and they did re-sign Riley Patterson. And they did sign another kicker. So it seems like we will have ourselves a kicking competition in training camp. Cool. But the players that the Miami Dolphins did sign from other teams was Malik Willis, quarterback Malik Willis, corner slash safety Lonnie Johnson, edge rusher Josh Uche, which that is what we need. We need pass rushers, so very happy with the Uche signing. Cornerback Marco Wilson, kicker Zane Gonzalez, safety slash special teamer Zane Anderson, tight end Ben Sims, wide receiver Tutu Atwell, wide receiver Jalen Tolbert. That one I do like. I'm not really necessarily all like excited about the Tutu Atwell signing, but the Jalen Tolbert signing I am a big fan of. I do like that signing a lot. The defensive lineman Robert Beal, offensive lineman, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I'm so sorry. Jamari Slayer, and outside linebacker David Ajobo. Let me see if I missed any more. I want to make sure I got everybody. They signed corner slash special teamer Alex Austin from the New England Patriots, and cornerback Darrell Baker. Okay. So as you could tell, most of these are 1-year prove-it deals, and we will get to that in a little bit. But first, what I'm going to talk about is Malik Willis, and we are going to spend quite some time on this topic because I feel like this fan base is like 60-40 on Malik Willis and the signing. Some fans want to outright tank and get a top 5 quarterback in the 2027 draft. Other fan bases want to see this team be competitive. I want this team to be competitive going into this year. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it first. I wanted the Malik Willis signing to happen. He fit into this new regime like a glove. He is exactly what they were looking for. John Eric Sullivan wants a young team. And John Eric Sullivan in free agency signed a bunch of young players. And currently, right now, the oldest player on the Miami Dolphins is Zach Sealer. And Zach Sealer is 30 years old. Going to be 31 this year. And currently, right now, the Miami Dolphins are the youngest team in the NFL. That was John Eric Sullivan's goal. We are going to draft, develop, get younger, and retain our own. And we're hoping that's what he does with the draft. But Malik Willis is exactly what they were looking for. And it's exactly what this team needed. Malik Willis is a totally different quarterback from Tua Tagovailoa, and that is what's very exciting about this signing. Malik Willis can run. Tua Tagovailoa couldn't even slide. Tua Tagovailoa was afraid to run. He was limited from all the concussions he had. We were limited with Tua Tagovailoa. Malik Willis, you can run option plays. That read option with Malik Willis and Devon Achane come fall, that is going to be nasty. I cannot wait to watch that. Um, but you don't have much limits now with Malik Willis, as you did with Tua Tagovailoa. This guy has a cannon of an arm too, and a lot of things that people are questioning about him is experience, and they have every right to question that. He only threw 35 passes last year. That's it. He played in 2 games, I believe, which were the Bears game week 16, where they collapsed and blew the game, and then week 17 on the Saturday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, where he had 3 touchdowns. Um, and he balled out in that game. They lost, the Packers did, but Malik Willis absolutely balled out in that game against the Baltimore Ravens, and that was the game that he opened a lot of people's eyes. But if the fans are concerned about experience when it comes to Malik Willis, they have every right to be. Malik Willis wasn't an NFL ready quarterback when he first came into the NFL. He got drafted by the Tennessee Titans in 2022. He was their opening day starter, and man, let me just tell you, it was rough. It was rough for Malik Willis. It was rough for the Titans. They benched him for Will Levis, okay? And it was pretty much doomsday. It was pretty much over for Malik in Tennessee. So he gets traded to the Green Bay Packers, and Matt LaFleur sort of revives his career, and now he's got the golden opportunity with the Miami Dolphins. He's only started 6 games in his career, but he has shown a lot of potential, and he's only 26 years old. Right now, he's in his prime. We are getting Malik Willis in the prime of his career right now. We haven't fully even seen, possibly, what this guy is capable of doing. And we got him on a great deal too. 3 years, $67.5 million, $45 million of it is guaranteed. So basically, John Eric Sullivan signed Malik Willis to a 2-year deal. I didn't think this was going to happen. I did not think the Miami Dolphins were going to have the money to sign Malik Willis. I thought what they were going to do was they were going to go out, they were going to go sign a veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo or Marcus Mariota, and they would compete with Quinn Ewers in training camp. That's what I thought they would have done. That would have been so uninspiring. That would have given me no excitement going into the season whatsoever. Now, this gives me some sort of excitement. Malik Willis has a ton of potential. It is somebody who plays the exact opposite of Tua Tagovailoa, and that is what I'm excited about, bro. I'm excited what Malik can do in this offense with Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. Now, we do have to talk about the offense around them, because you can't just sign them and expect, hey, we're going to be fine because we don't need to have the talent. No, you need to have the talent around Malik Willis. So, right now, we got Devon Achane. We got the same 3 running backs as we did last year. Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon. That's a great start. We don't have a fullback. Alec Ingold followed Mike McDaniel to the Los Angeles Chargers. So we don't have a fullback. I don't know if Bobby Slowick runs an offense with a fullback. I will have to see and wait for the summer, I guess. But it's a pretty similar San Francisco style offense that Bobby Slowick runs. He did get a lot out of C.J. Stroud in his rookie year. So I'm excited to see what Bobby Slowick can have dialed up for Malik Willis when we do get to the season. Um, I still think this team needs one more receiver. They need a tight end, and they need another offensive lineman, and they need backups. So, right now, as it stands, this very well could change. They could go out there and make another signing. I doubt it. They don't have the money for it. They don't have a lot of money for it, but right now, their wide receiver room, they got Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, Taj Washington, and Theo Weiss. So I think they should draft another receiver. I think they should draft another big physical receiver like Jalen Tolbert. And they have 5 picks in the top 100. It is very, very crucial that we hit on this draft this year. This draft coming up in late April is very important for the Miami Dolphins. 5 picks in the top 100. John Eric Sullivan has to capitalize on those picks. And those are all day 1 and day 2 picks. So we could win the draft after day 2, which would be absolutely amazing. That would be amazing. But I think the team needs one more receiver to fill out that room. I'm not too inspired about the Tutu Atwell signing. I mean, he makes flashy plays here and there. Jalen Tolbert, I do like, though, for Malik Willis. Get him that big physical receiver, just like he had with Christian Watson. I think Jalen Tolbert, he fits very well in this offense. He's coming from Dallas. He was used well in Dallas's offense. And, again, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. So if he balls out this year and we feel a need to bring him back, we can bring him back. Give him an extension. I really think the potential of that Jalen Tolbert signing could be big for this Miami Dolphins offense in the 2026 season. Tight ends, I do feel like they're going to need another tight end. I feel like they'll probably draft one. They probably won't sign one in free agency just because, again, the Dolphins don't have the money for it, and they already signed Ben Sims, which is a very, very low ball cost. He just feels like a body for training camp. So I feel like we'll draft one in the upcoming draft. Again, 5 picks in the top 100. They could absolutely draft a tight end in the 3rd round if they wanted to. And then offensive linemen. Right now, they restructured Austin Jackson's contract so that they could open up $8 million of cap space. And he is going to be on this team this season. But pretty much after this season, I don't think Austin Jackson's going to be on this team anymore. So we are going to have another year of Austin Jackson at right tackle. But right now, I feel decent about this offensive line. I do. Right now, we got Patrick Paul at left tackle, Aaron Brewer at center, Austin Jackson at right tackle. So we got our 2 tackles and our center, and all we need to figure out is our guards. Maybe under some good coaching, we can get Jonah Savaianaya to where he needs to be for the upcoming season. But if I'm Miami, I would draft another guard. Or if you draft a tackle, you make him a guard for a year, boom. He's replacing Austin Jackson. Whether that is Spencer Fano or Francis Mariota from Miami, that would be the ideal draft pick. But I don't know if he's going to be there by the time the Dolphins get to pick 11 come April. So right now, the majority of my questions of this team and my concerns is not on the offense. It's on the side of the ball that head coach Jeff Hafley is going to be have control over, is the defense. And I will say one more thing about the Malik Willis thing. If it pans out and he balls out and he's good, great. We can extend him. And we didn't overpay him like a lot of people think we did. He's the 21st highest played. He's the 21st highest paid quarterback in the NFL. That's not overpaying at all. And if he balls out this year and proves he could be the guy, great. We don't need to draft a quarterback in 2027. But if he's showing like signs of early career Malik Willis, guess what? We can still draft a quarterback. We could still have Malik on the team. And we could just have an open competition in training camp next year. So it all works out. It all works out for us Dolphin fans. But let's get to the defense. Okay? Defensive line and secondary. I'm very concerned. More particularly the edge rusher. They got their entire defensive line back from last year. They got Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Zeke Biggers, Matthew Butler. They've got all their defensive linemen from last year. Right now, the only pass rushers this team has is Chop Robinson and Josh Uche. Right now, those are your edge rushers. And the Dolphins made signings in the summer last year. They very well could do that again. I know a lot of people want Rasul back in the secondary. And trust me, I want Rasul back too. But does Rasul fit what John Eric Sullivan wants? No. He's in the back end of his career. He could be that veteran we need, but he's on the back end of his career, and we're in the youth movement this year. I think it's more likely that we re-sign Jack Jones. The loss of Kader Kohu hurts. I know he didn't play at all last year because of the torn ACL, but the loss of Kader Kohu does hurt. But I mean, again, I can't blame the new regime for it because they don't have any familiarity with Kader Kohu. So they're like, he's not our guy. We didn't draft him. So we are going to try something else. Losing Kader sucks, but that's how I look at it. I'm not John Eric Sullivan, okay? But if I was in his shoes, I'd be looking to draft an edge rusher in the first round. Chop Robinson was very underwhelming last year. And Cameron Good, we have him too. And Josh Uche, he was awesome many years ago. But is he good now? He's shown flashes. But last year, he was a depth guy for the Eagles. He was a backup on Philly last year. More than likely, looking at it right now, he's going to be a starter in Miami. I would draft somebody. Maybe you go out and get David Bailey from Texas Tech. I doubt Ruben Bain is going to be there at 11. But maybe you go out and you draft David Bailey at 11. I would be totally okay with that. And then I feel like that's my biggest concern is the edge rusher. And then the secondary, we'll see what happens because, again, they signed guys like Darrell Baker. Now, he does have starting experience last year with Tennessee, but I don't know if he's going to start again this year. Right now, our corners from last year, the only corners we have on the roster now from last year are Storm Duck, Jason Marshall, and Ethan Bonner. So, we still have. Technically, free agency is still going on, so they could make another cheap signing if they wanted to, but then I would look toward the draft, start to get ready for the draft, and then see what happens. We roll the dice. So, overall, with the cap space we had this offseason, I'm okay with how this free agency turned out for the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're going to be contenders next year. There's no fucking way. But could we be a competitive team and, maybe get like around 6 wins? Sure. I could totally see that for this team. So, that's all I got for you guys on Miami Dolphins free agency. If anything happens, I will make another video Dolphins related, but for the time being, we're back to all wrestling content. And tomorrow night is a big night. We got the AEW Revolution pay-per-view from Los Angeles. 10 matches on the main card, so it is going to be a long pay-per-view. But I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a great show tomorrow night. So we'll do the review after that show ends. So subscribe, comment down below, hit the like button if you like what you heard from me, and follow me on Twitter and TikTok, Colin_Joseph. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. AEW Revolution pay-per-view. Peace.